Right, let's now take a look at the headlines from major newspapers around the world. What's making the front pages? I don't think Harry and the Goats has made it to the front page. We're going to start with The Guardian in the UK. Trump rejects Iran's Strait of Hormuz closure claim as fight for control goes on. The British paper is focused on the collapsing ceasefire between the US and Iran after a week of missile and drone exchanges. Donald Trump stated that US forces are keeping the vital waterway open despite Iranian declarations that it has closed. Next is Pakistan's Daily Times, which reports on the same news story from a more Iranian perspective. Ghalibaf warns US to honor Hormuz deal or face consequences. So the article highlights Iran pressing the United States to fully implement their recent agreement as tensions over the Strait of Hormuz escalate. Iranian officials warned that they will not accept one-sided deals and are ready to respond to future threats. India's Hindustan Times also reporting on the same story. Hormuz crisis returns as Iran-US escalate strikes. So the story covers the latest waves of attacks where the US has hit over 140 targets in Iran following an Iranian strike on a commercial vessel. Iran then retaliated by targeting US military interests across several Gulf nations, putting the recent peace negotiations in serious danger. The Australian covering the story has quite a clever headline, straight back to the beginning. So they too have focused on the return to the Iran war and the erosion of the peace deal. Their report explains how the Middle East is heading back into open conflict as Washington and Tehran trade heavy fire. The US completed another round of strikes holding Iran accountable, while Iran insists revenge is a national demand. The Financial Times also delves into the same story. Their top headline reads, "New US strikes on Iran pose biggest test for interim deal." The article details the fourth round of American strikes in a week after Iranian forces attacked a commercial ship and tried to close the waterway. The paper also features a major story as a co-headline that you can see on the passing of US Senator Lindsey Graham, who's died at the age of 71 after a brief illness. And that leads us on quite nicely to the next story. The front page of the Washington Post goes with the headline, "Lindsey Graham died of aortic dissection, preliminary medical report says." So the report in the paper states that the prominent senator has passed away shortly after returning from a trip to Ukraine. Donald Trump mentioned he had spoken with Graham prior to his passing. Now, China Daily features the headline, "Ruins highlight effort to trace and preserve roots." So the article celebrates the 20th anniversary of the Yingzhou archaeological site in Henan being added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. It highlights China's dedication to protecting its cultural relics and ancient history. And lastly, the Dhaka Tribune. Dhaka sinks again as monsoon intensifies. So the paper is describing how continuous record rainfall has crippled the capital and caused deadly floods and landslides across Bangladesh. Millions of people have been affected, with authorities warning that the extreme weather is shifting to new regions.